You probably know about the Premier League's highest goal scorers and the teams with the most titles. After more than 30 years of Premier League, we all know the basics. What you almost certainly don't know is which players have scored penalties with both feet, which goalkeeper has 5 assists, or which player has nearly as many Premier League medals as appearances. So without any further ado, here are 50 amazing Premier League facts which you probably didn't know. So let's get started. 2 players have scored Premier League penalties with both feet: Bobby Zamora and Obafemi Martins. Ryan Giggs has been substituted more times than any other player, 134. Mario Balotelli's only assist in the Premier League was for Sergio Aguero's title-winning goal versus QPR. Wayne Rooney, Gareth Bale and Kevin Davies are the only players to score, assist and score an own goal in a single Premier League game. Luton Town's Kenilworth Road is the smallest stadium in the Premier League history, with the capacity of just 10,356 people. Club bosses remain committed to building a new ground, but for now, their home stadium is still Kenilworth Road, as it has been since 1905. Manchester United have never lost a Premier League game at Old Trafford in which they have been ahead at halftime. Honestly, I don't know how that record still stands, but fair play to them. Alan Shearer has missed the most Premier League penalties, 11. In fairness, he's also scored the most, 56. Former England goalkeeper Paul Robinson has scored, assisted and won a penalty in the Premier League. He also has more Premier League assists than any other keeper, 5. David and James were the most common first names in the Premier League in 2010-11 season. Yet, it was the first season in which David James did not appear. Newcastle United won 34 points from losing positions in 2001-2002 season, the most by a team in a single Premier League season. It was also the same number of points that they won in total when they got relegated 7 years later. In 2014-15 season, Leicester City spent longer at the bottom of the table without being relegated than any side in Premier League history, 140 days. Peter Crouch has scored more headed goals, 50, than 16 of the teams who have played in the Premier League. Richard Wright has played a combined 12 Premier League games for Arsenal and Manchester City and has 2 title medals. Terry Connor, former Wolves boss, is the only manager to take charge of more than 10 Premier League games and not win a single one. In 2016-17 season, Hull became only the 3rd team to be top of the Premier League and be relegated in the same season, after Charlton in 1998-99 and Bolton in 2011-12 season. Only 2 players have ever scored a hat-trick of headers in a Premier League match: Duncan Ferguson for Everton versus Bolton in December 1997 and Salomon Rondon for West Brom versus Swansea in December 2016. Manchester City and Liverpool have won the most league matches, 32, in a single season. City achieved that feat in 2017-18 and 2018-19 season, and Liverpool attained the record in 2019-20 season. Eric Cantona scored the first Premier League hat-trick for Leeds United in a 5-0 win over Tottenham Hotspur. The fastest goal in a Premier League match was scored by Shane Long for Southampton against Watford on April 24, 2019. The striker intercepted a pass from Craig Cathcart before chipping the ball over goalkeeper Ben Foster with just 7.69 seconds on the clock. Sadio Mane holds the top flight record for fastest hat-trick in the competition as he netted 3 times in 2 minutes and 56 seconds when Southampton defeated Aston Villa 6-1 in 2015. In the 2007-2008 season of the Premier League, Derby County managed just 1 win in the entire season. They ended the season with just 11 points. Notably, this is the worst record by a club in Premier League history in terms of wins in a single season. A total of 6 clubs have registered an unwanted feat of 0 Premier League away wins in a season. These 6 clubs are Leeds United, Coventry, Wolves, Norwich, Derby and Hull City. Since the formation of the English Premier League in 1992, not a single English manager has won the title. The highest scoring Premier League game ever came at Fratton Park in September 2007, when Portsmouth defeated Reading 7-4. As of 2023, 3 players had received a total of 8 red cards during their Premier League careers: Richard Dunne, Duncan Ferguson and Patrick Vieira. This was more than any other player. Ryan Giggs holds the record for the most assists in Premier League history. Former Manchester United player provided 162 assists in 632 appearances during his 24-year-old senior career with the club. Herman Hreidarsson has more than 330 Premier League appearances to his name, along with an FA Cup winner's medal and 15 years of experience in English football, but also holds the unfortunate honor of knowing that no player in history has suffered relegation out of the top tier on more occasions than he has. 5. Norwich City holds the record for the most relegated team in the Premier League after dropping down from the top tier of English football on 6 occasions in the last 30 years. Former Arsenal and Chelsea goalkeeper Peter Cech holds the record for most clean sheets in Premier League history, having registered 202 clean sheets in his career in the top flight. Gareth Barry had an incredible Premier League career, winning the league title in the 2011-12 season with Manchester City. But he also holds the record for most yellow cards in the history of the competition, 123. Jamie Vardy famously holds the Premier League record of scoring in 11 consecutive games, a feat he achieved en route to Leicester winning the league in 2016. Since the beginning of the Premier League, Everton holds the record for most goals in the competition, 332. Legendary Arsenal striker Thierry Henry is the only player to have won the Premier League Golden Boot 4 times. David Beckham has scored the most goals from direct free kicks in Premier League history, 18, which will come as little surprise to most. The unfortunate honor for most Premier League own goals scored by a single player goes to Richard Dunn, 10. Manchester City striker Erling Haaland has become the first player in Premier League history to win the Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season awards in the same campaign. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer holds the record for being the only player in Premier League history to score 4 goals as a substitute during Man United's 8-1 win at Nottingham Forest in 1999. Since the formation of the Premier League in 1992, only 2 brands made the official Premier League ball, Mitre and Nike. Referee Mike Dean has officiated the most Premier League matches since the start of competition, 561. Smallest title winning margin in Premier League history was in 2011-12 season, when Manchester City won the title on 0 points and only 8 goal difference compared to their closest rivals that year, Manchester United. Wimbledon holds the record for the lowest attendance since the foundation of the Premier League, when just 3,000 people came to watch their game against Everton in 1993. At the time, Wimbledon had abandoned their original home stadium Plough Lane and opted to share Selhurst Park with Crystal Palace, to the frustration of Don's fans. In 1996-97 season, Manchester United won the Premier League title with just 75 points, and to this day, that stands as the record for the fewest points scored in a season while winning the league. Former Arsenal striker Nicklas Bendtner got his name in the Guinness World Record book, fastest goal as a substitute. Bendtner spent only 1.8 seconds on the pitch after he was introduced as a substitute in the game against Tottenham Hotspur in the 2007-2008 season to score from a Cesc Fabregas corner kick. During his playing career, Frank Lampard scored against a record 39 different Premier League opponents, which is the highest scored by any other player ever in the league. In April 2017, when he was playing for Burnley, Joey Barton earned the longest ban in Premier League history when he was suspended by the FA for 18 months for placing bets on 1,260 matches between March 2006 and May 2013. Soon after, with the midfielder having been released by the Clarets, that was reduced on appeal to 13 months. Since the Premier League began collecting data on offside decisions, no player has been flagged more times than Emmanuel Adebayor. The former Togo international striker was caught offside a record 328 times across his spells with Arsenal, Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur and Crystal Palace. During the 2002-2003 season, title-chasing Manchester United welcomed Fulham as they were on their way to the Premier League crown. As the game wore on, both managers were expected to make substitutions in a bid to provide rest to some of their key players. However, it never materialized, and the game ended with 0 substitutions. This Premier League matchup remains the only time when managers used 0 subs. Marcus Bent holds the record for playing for 8 different Premier League teams. Marcus Bent made 215 appearances for 8 different PL clubs during his career: Crystal Palace, Blackburn Rovers, Ipswich Town, Leicester City, Everton, Charlton, Wigan and Wolves. Former US international goalkeeper Brad Friedel holds one of the craziest Premier League records ever. The former Spurs goalkeeper managed to play 310 consecutive matches in the Premier League from 2004 to 2012. And finally, number 50. Wigan 0, Chelsea 6. The game got etched into the Premier League history books. One might ask, what's so remarkable about the result? Chelsea tanking Wigan was quite expected, but doing so without earning any corners is even more remarkable. In the Premier League's 30-year history, it remains the only game not to have witnessed a corner. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching. So tell me, in your opinion, what was the most shocking fact that you saw on this list? Share your thoughts down in the comments, cause I would love to hear it. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, hit the bell icon, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content like this. Thank you and see you on the next one. Peace.